Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back. I had a wonderful opportunity to speak to two lovely ladies, Leah and Kat, about how they started a business in the year 2020. I am so inspired by their story and by their passion for what they do. Join us for the conversation and don't forget to click subscribe and connect with me on LinkedIn and on Instagram. Let's go. Thank you for talking with me and being here. I really appreciate it. I think you guys are so cool. And when I met you, I loved your story. I loved your perspective on things. Your background is super interesting. And I also just absolutely love the fact that you started a business in this crazy year when, so many people think that everything is terrible. And it's this great, gigantic pause. You guys have actually started to build your own business. You've branched out as entrepreneurs. It is a wonderful business owner, ladies. And so I wanted to hear a little bit about your story, your background, and I'm so excited to hear what you have to say. So I guess I wanted to start by when I sat down with you, Leah, you were telling me about your background and how you always loved styling. You always loved essentially what you do, right? But you did it not paid. You did it for fun. You did it for friends. It was something that you really enjoyed. And I think it's absolutely amazing that you've been able to build now your own business, not even just a career, but your own business around this. And I think that that's awesome. And I would love to hear a little bit again about that story, sort of where you come from and kind of your background and history before you got to this point.
So I'm Leah. Hi. I grew up in Westchester, and I guess my hair journey started as a child. I used to take like the hair out of the Cabbage Patch Kids and then draw hair on top of the scalp, I guess, of the doll. I used to do my Barbie's hair. My sister used to do my hair. My mom used to do my sister's hair. So it was like a stairwell of like people doing hair. And in high school, I used to do everybody's hair as well. I used to like do like really, really intricate braids, and I used to just always have a tail comb, rubber bands, and like jam, like something to like make sure that part was smooth. I guess like the reason why I went into it full time was because I didn't really want to do anything else. And I always wanted to do hair. It was something that was always in the back of your head where you're like, okay, like I do this and I have so much fun doing this. But like, is this going to make me money? Is this going to be a sustainable career for my life? And I think like when you're just starting out, you don't really know that yet. You just think, you see like your neighborhood, like chop shops and whatever. And like, oh my God, like they're charging like $30 for a haircut. Like, am I really going to do this? So both Kat and I went to college for other things, and then essentially was like, we're not doing that. That's boring. Let's go to beauty school. And once we went to beauty school, it was like the whole world. You learn like this world of hair, and you're like, oh my God, this literally is a no cap career. It's all in what you put in is what you'll receive. So exactly, it's like if you work, someone said that we were working overtime today because we're closed. It's not working overtime. We're investing into our business. We're doing things that we need, things that we want to do to reap the benefits of it later, right? Because this is the love of our lives. This is our baby. This is something that we're cultivating and to grow into a big plant, into a big money tree.
Blossom into something beautiful. Well, I feel the same way. Like I love what I do. I'm an agent. I work in residential real estate here in the city, and I work a lot, but it's fun. Like I enjoy it. I enjoy meeting people. Like I put in that like little extra bit here and there just because I love what I do. And I think it makes such a big difference because when you're working most of your life, like the majority of your day is doing whatever you do during the day. So it's really important that you feel fulfilled, right? And that you get something out of it. And I think that you had mentioned that you're, you had people that were telling you, oh, you need to do something corporate. Oh, you need to take this route or you need to take that route in order to be, quote unquote, successful. And you managed to kind of like break out of that and do your own thing. So was that easy? Was that hard? What was that like?
Oh my God, that was very difficult. It was actually my mother definitely supported me wholeheartedly, because she is definitely more of an artist. But my father is very corporate. My father, came over from Hungary, has an engineering degree. My sister went to NYU, studied economics, worked for JP Morgan. It was like I had this expectation that I needed to also follow in those footsteps, and I didn't want to. I always knew that I was eclectic. I was artistic. I was sing, dance, like do color, create stories. Like I was that person. So it was
I also feel like your personality is much larger than just like
small
working by herself. Like she needed to be with people as a whole.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree 100%.
Well, I think a lot of people feel like you have to go that route, right? Like that's the driven path, right?
Yeah.
That so many people kind of feel like they have to go on in order to make something for themselves. And I love that you like break it out. You're like, no, I'm not gonna do that.
This generation, like it allows us to be a little bit more creative. Where like with our parents, like it was like if you weren't doing something more corporate or behind a desk, it was like you're not gonna make it. But like now, I feel like the industry is changing so much with like beauty, hair, health. That it's just like if you're not doing that, like then you're not actually doing anything. So it's kind of the opposite now, which makes me really excited.
Yes,
future
possibilities, right?
Yeah.
Do you have Kat? Do you have a similar background? Is this something that you always did, and then you kind of found yourself here? Like, what was your path?
So pretty similar, like I guess like every hairdresser in a way, but I never wanted to pursue it because I never like actually thought that I would do hair for a living. I was like, it never came to me, and then my mom brought it up because it was when I was in high school, freshman in high school, talking about college, and I wasn't talking about college. And she was like, "Wait, are you not gonna go to college?" And I was like, "I don't know. I don't even know what I want to do with my life yet." So it was all this, and then she found this school, which was a trade school. So you have to be in high school to attend this school. So I just did both, and I met so many different people. I honestly, my teacher was the most amazing teacher anybody could ever have. She literally just like wrote down the path for me. She's like, "This is how you're gonna do it." She's like, "But you have to figure out who you're gonna meet in between to make it work for you." So once she told me what I could do, I was like, "Oh my God, there's like endless possibilities." And I was like, "Okay, it's gonna happen. I'm gonna do it." And then little by little bit, I always said like, work in a really good salon, get trained by amazing hairstylists, educate yourself all the time. We never stop learning because that's very important. And then open up your own salon. Maybe at the end of all this, we could be teaching in a cosmetology school and teaching other students,
giving
and
back.
Hopefully, giving back what I was taught. And that this is how all this happened too. Obviously not the best
She
time.
had done that.
But she had created this seed. She had planted the seed in my head that she was just like, "This is how you're gonna do it." So that's how I ended up doing hair. It was just it went from like maybe sure, but then when I went to school and I saw what I could possibly do, I was like, "This is awesome." And then I fell in love with hair. Like it was so easy, and I feel like
so easy.
I feel like for some stylists, like it's harder for them because it doesn't come to them easy. They struggle with finding themselves in the industry. Where there's some other stylists that are just like, you're born for this, So I don't know. It's so far, knock on wood, everything has been very easy and smooth. Obviously, with a lot of work. So
yes.
As long as you put in the work, anything is possible.
You'll get back what you put in.
I heard that you had this idea in your mind for a really long time, and that you kind of were kind of pinging Leah, like, "Hey, let's do it. Hey, let's do it. Hey, let's do it." Until all of a sudden it was like, "Hey, actually, right now, why not? Like, why? What kind of made the change from, no, I'm good, to, yeah, let's do this." Because you did it in like record time too, right? From the time that you actually decided to till the time that you opened.
We signed a lease on the salon.
It was 4 weeks. It was
August 15th. We opened September 15th.
So
it's insane. It's literally 4 weeks.
Insane.
I think what happened with the change is, for me, was trust, right?
I was gonna say something else.
What were you gonna say?
Well, I think I always told Leah, like, For 3 years, I've been telling her, like, I want you
3
to
years.
work with me, not for me.
Not for me.
Not, like I said, I was like, whatever,
Very
however
important.
it is, I want you to work with me.
Yeah, she'd throw so many things out. She's like,
So-
I'm gonna do this. I don't know. Maybe it's gonna be here. Maybe it's gonna be there. But like,
Yeah.
no matter what, I need you to come.
Yes.
Mhm.
So no matter what, I knew that I wanted her to come. Obviously, COVID happened, and my plan was to start looking for a place like around now.
Yeah.
And I was gonna, tell her like, okay, I'm gonna start looking for a place. But then COVID happened. I was like, I can't do this right now. This is insane. Like, who would I take on right now? It's such a scary time. But then once I walked into the place by myself the first time, I literally the gut feeling was just like, if I don't do this, it's clearly stupid. And you know what? We might fail, but we
won't
gotta
fail.
try. Of course, we won't.
We won't.
At the time, I was thinking, okay, we might fail, but like at least we had this amazing space.
And we have each other.
And we have each other. But the main thing was that I felt like with COVID, I didn't want New York City to ban New York City because it's failing us right now, especially with everything
It's
closing.
rebuilding.
So I definitely wanted to make sure that, you know what, instead of running the other way, let's just put all our money into this place and do it. And it was very
Double down. It's gonna be fine.
And it was very important that that when I asked Leah to do this, it was like I knew she was going to be the right fit for something like this.
And
Yeah.
you know what's funny, Courtney, is that when we met as assistants.
Yes,
We
Those
hadn't
amazing
worked
assistants.
together. We were the best assistants you've ever met in your life.
okay, well,
But
we're
we're
great.
really good.
We're
We're
really
really good. But the point of it is that we hadn't worked together as stylists.
Yeah,
But
that's
we
so true.
there was a trust within each other
Yep.
that we know each other well. And
Yeah.
even though people evolve as individuals, they grow up, they
Yeah.
mature, no matter what, that base connection was always present and it was always strong.
Yeah.
And that's why I said, like, yeah, during like at this time to jump into a salon, I trust Kat. Like I don't trust many people. And I've been approached by several people
Yeah.
to start something. She's been approached by several people to start something as well. And no matter what, it was always like,
Yeah.
And then it was like, you know what? Like Kat was
That
like,
gut
girl,
feeling.
this is what I have. Like, are you gonna do it?
I was like, I need you to do this. Hurry up.
And in the beginning, I was like,
No.
no. I said, I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah, that was a little hard to hear, but all I had to do was just
Plant the seed.
you just have to break it. I just had to break down the numbers, the ideas, keep her in on the designs, and just like I really honestly, before I even told Leah about the space, everybody around was asking like, what are you gonna do? Where are you gonna go? Are you gonna do your own thing? I was like, yeah, I am. I was like, and my friend Leah's coming. She's amazing. Literally, I was already projecting this out
You're
there,
manifesting.
and this is why everything is happening, because you say
And it
out
happens
loud.
so easily.
Knock on wood, it happens so easily.
Well, I mean, and you opened to like, I actually got a chance to come the second day.
Oh my God,
Second
second
day.
day.
And I was so excited.
Oh my
And
God.
you like opened to this incredibly warm reception. Like there were balloons and there were flowers and there were cupcakes and there were people coming by just to give hugs and congratulations. Like clearly you are super well supported. You built an amazing career elsewhere, right? And
Yeah.
you have all these people that you know that just know that you're awesome at what you do. And it's so exciting to see then like encouragement for branching out on your own, opening. And you said you're booked for like solid now that you're open. Like there's no shortage of
Yeah. We also kind of made sure it was like that because
Yeah.
even though Kat was already working in Soho for several years, I wasn't. I came from the Upper East Side and
Takes a while.
we landed in Chelsea. So before I even agreed to come down here, I had told my clients something's brewing, something's happening. Like, would you travel to Chelsea? And I had clients that were like, girl, I will cross state lines. Just let me know where. And I was like, say no more. I'm doing it. And also Kat was like, I know this is scary, but like they're gonna come. And whatever, and whoever
Built in,
won't,
people will come, you
like,
know?
you're gonna find more because of who you are. Like
I think that, yeah.
all I need is 30 seconds. Sit in my chair for 30 seconds, that's it.
like
That's it.
sold.
All right.
Lifetime.
Courtney, can you attest to
Okay.
that?
Okay, so actually on that note though, as like a business person, you are very savvy. Like you you are good at what you do, no doubt. But you're also like, all right, the entire time I'm sitting with you, I'm telling you about our game plan for the next year and how we're going to be partners and what I'm going to do and what's going to happen next time. And like really like laying out like no joke like you do something that is creative, that is, that is artistic, but like you know what you're doing. It was obvious.
I just know, especially when someone's sitting in the chair and they're unhappy and there's an end goal in sight, and just as being experienced, knowing that it's not going to happen first time around, I like to do things. I always say this to my clients, exactly. I don't want to do something that is going to please you right now, because it's not realistic. It's not sustainable. We're going to do something that's going to, over time, get better and better. And then you can go longer and longer in between. And it's just, it's going to be like amazing and perfect no matter what, because each time we're going to do something that's minimal. It doesn't have to be this whole grand, oh my God, we're going to do this, and that. It's like, no, like it's
out of production all the time.
It's just small, and each time is going to be better and great. And I think it's the way to approach everything, honestly.
I know.
Yeah. Well, one, you're like developing a relationship with somebody. Like this is not a one-off thing. But two, what you're saying to me is like anything. Like you're actually describing almost like I started to run, right? I was needing to add some exercise into my life, and people asked me to do a 10K, and I was like, sure. So I started training, and you start like a little bit, and then a little bit, and then a little bit, right? And over time you get better, and over time you get better. And this year, actually, I was supposed to run the marathon. That's not going to happen, and it was gonna be my first one. But like, it doesn't happen. Like you don't go out one day and you're like, oh, I'm going to make this grand event happen, and like everything's going to be awesome. Like you kind of have to like have a goal and work towards it, right? Little by little, and then eventually, at the end of the day, you'll be like super happy.
It's not a race; it's a marathon.
Yes,
it's the opposite.
That's right. It's not a sprint; it's a marathon.
Yes, it's not a sprint. It's a
marathon, right? We're in it for the long game, right? Yes. Like see the light at the end of the tunnel. We know where we're going. We just have to set a plan to get there, right?
I agree.
Yeah.
Yes. But Rome wasn't for the day.
Rome, but I was trying to connect her with
the running.
With the running.
So clever, this one.
You did mention that you love New York and that you're like, I'm going to double down. Like, obviously, like I do real estate in the city. So like my career, my life is New York. Like I have 2 little boys. We've been here the whole time. Like I'm raising them here. I love to exit and go on adventures and spend the weekend away and see family. But like every time I come back, I'm like, like my city. Like, what do you like? I just, on a total side note, but like, what do you like about New York City so much? Like, why are you here? Like why here?
Well, I definitely am a city girl because I'm from Greece, Athens. So that's a big city. I love all of the cities, but New York is just like, I love the hustle and bustle. You can be anybody, but you're going somewhere and you're like, whoa, I wasn't even expecting that. I just love that everything is moving constantly. Like when people rave about like California, I was like, yeah, California is beautiful and sunny, but I was like, I feel like everybody's so lazy over there. And it's not, and they're probably not, but it's just like New York, just like all the different neighborhoods, they're all very different. You can go like Soho, it's just like really cool, touristy. Then you come to the West Village and it's like low key cool.
And then Chelsea's like kind of
like it's just like everything. I feel like it has everything for everyone, and everybody can come here and just be who they want to be. Even if you didn't even know that you could be this person, all of a sudden you're like, holy shit, like New York does it to you,
Yes. I feel like New York gives you a fresh start. Like every day you wake up and you're able to have like a fresh start in the city. Like it's insane. And it definitely about the neighborhoods.
The neighborhood. Also the motivation
that
it gives me, like walking down the street sometimes and I see like this beautiful woman wearing this beautiful outfit. I was like, yes, I want to be that. And then you're walking, you see a whole bunch of person, you're like, definitely don't be that. So just like all the different people that you're just like, like
definitely don't want to do that.
It just encourages you to be better every day.
I agree.
It just encourages you to be better every day. And I think all the things that have happened in New York City. It's just like, I love when people do come together. Although right now the times are a little hard.
Yeah.
Especially with political speaking, it's a little crazy out there, which we're not gonna touch base on. But I feel like New York City's still together, even though we're going through so much stuff.
I think that people that live in the city, that are diehard city people, they are
I don't live in the city.
diehard city people.
I don't live in the city.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? She lives
So-
in Westchester and commutes every day to the city. But I think being in the city and working in the city and living in the city and chilling in the city, like it's all like she's married, right? I'm not. So for me, like after I get out of work, I'm like, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna go here? Who am I gonna meet up with? Like, yeah, COVID, mask, 6 feet. However, I find myself wanting to do so many
much.
things
I know.
every day. You know, it's like, it's just this never ending regeneration that the city gives you. It gives you a pulse. Like it literally gives you a pulse.
We love New York City.
I love New York City.
Well, I wanted to ask a couple more questions. I wanted to ask number one, any tips for people who do have some kind of a passion or something that they really love to do, but they're a little bit fearful about actually making that into a business or a career. Like, do you have any tips, guidance, suggestions for how to follow a passion and also be a successful person?
Go for it.
Well, definitely go for it, but also make connections. Don't be afraid, even if you don't know what you're doing, ask the question. Yeah, you might sound, silly, but you honestly don't know the answer. So you're going to ask somebody that is doing better or doing what you want to do. So connecting is definitely the way, especially now that we've opened up our own space. Before I would be so afraid to do certain things. And now I'm just like, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to ask. And if they say no, cool. Like, thank you for your time,
I agree.
Definitely you have to, if you want to do something, especially in New York City, when there's so many salons, so many
saturated
actors or models or whatever it is, the only way you probably will get ahead is like, you just have to be, one step ahead by just like making that connection with the right person,
Anticipating things.
Going for it instead of, be like, no, I'm not going to go to this event today because it's not like my thing, but like you have to go to it.
I think variety is very important, and just familiarizing yourself with everything that has to do with what you want to do, right? Because like everything's always evolving. It's like if you can dive headfirst into the whole pool of your passion, I think that you'll always end out on top. And never be afraid, because the worst thing that can happen is a no.
Yeah.
And my mother always told me, for every 100 no's, there's one yes. So I've always lived my life on that. It's like, okay, if you turn me down, I'm not going to sulk in that. I'm going to turn that and channel that into, okay, they said no, but I'm going to go here. And hopefully they're going to say yes, and manifest and act and affirm these things, and just picture yourself doing what you're doing. Just do it.
Or even like find a way that, like, if you want to pursue something, start small, like set small goals. And then once you reach them, then you can start,
take your time.
You can start going for like the bigger goals. So just like little baby steps. For example, like, I worked in a really good salon when we both worked, and I became a stylist, and I've learned so much. And then by that, I was like, okay, I want to have my own salon. Here's the next little goal. It's like, I'll rent one chair in a salon. So then I started to own my own chair. And then it was like, okay, now here's the big picture, because I'm very close to having my own thing. And then literally connecting with somebody that connected me to somebody else. And like, here we are.
Well, it's like what we were talking about earlier, right? With the goals and the hair, like you have to have where your end results, right? Where you want to go.
Yeah.
And you kind of have to keep going, like be easy on yourself, like take the time it takes, right? But like be responsible for your own sort of path, right? And kind of course correct and learn along the way. Yeah.
Not see the end goal, but you also have to see what it takes to get there, and not be discouraged when some things don't go your way.
Yeah.
Because that's life, right? Life is going to treat you that way, right? How many times in relationships have we thought, oh my God, this is it. Yeah. He's the one. And then some shit goes down. You're like, damn, waste time, right?
Yeah.
But then you're like you regroup, you see what happened, you apply that to the next situation, and that's how you continue to learn and be a better person. And then
You
you
just
make the
update
connection.
You update your Tinder profile to look better, and
Get better choices. Well, a second question with that, which is slightly different but kind of aligned, is like, what advice do you have for people, or what tips do you have for people who are wanting to start their own business? So it might not be creative, it might be anything, but like, are there any, pitfalls that you ran into along the way, or anything that was like a really big aha, or anything else that you would suggest that people kind of think about if they are branching out on their own?
Sometimes having a like-minded person that wants the same things as you will always make it easier for you to move forward with your end goal, right? If you want to do it on your own, it's going to be really difficult. If you want to do it with someone else, it's going to be really difficult. But I find that when you find someone that wants to do the same things and has the same route, it becomes easier, it becomes smoother, it becomes just there's like a yellow brick road that's just leading you to the end. Like, hello, let's go.
Oh yeah, I said there's that, like, if you're gonna have any business, you need a team.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just go out and branch on your stuff. If I don't know one person that, like, obviously, like, okay, let's take Steve Jobs, literally screwed everybody around him, but he made it to the top. But his whole team had, like, they also made it work for him. You definitely need a team to have. Well, yeah, obviously, but don't screw your team. But I'm a firm believer, especially with like working different salons and seeing owners / stylists just do everything, and they fail because they don't have a team. So definitely find people that you are going to work the best with, because that definitely helps. Mm-hmm. For any business, a restaurant, you definitely need a partner.
Anywhere, like, it takes a village to raise a child as well. You know what I mean? Like, you always need that support system. You always need someone, whether it's not a partner, whether it's just
your man,
or anyone that's that you can come home to and be like, look, like, I'm struggling with this, struggling with that, like, or even just something. Like, I think, like, for me, like, not looking to get into a business, sort of say, and having someone push me, there's always going to be something that you lack. And if you can find out what you're lacking in and try to work on those things, or have someone else that can help you become better, I think that that's really important as well, because I lack in a lot of things, and Kat,
vice versa.
And Kat helps me with a lot, and I
mean, it's vice versa. Like,
it's insane. I definitely agree in having a partnership. For sure. But then there's some businesses you really can't go into with a partner, because people are assholes and they will, do things to hurt you. But
like what? Actually, now that you say that, what business doesn't have a team? Like a marketing.
I think you build your team over, and be selective. Be selective on who you bring around you. For sure. Be selective.
Like, do you have a team member?
I do. Well, I mean, my firm in general is very collaborative. So like, I talk to everybody. I mean, I don't have an official team member, but I have my sales director, whose office is right next to mine, and the partners' offices are down the hall, and I can just go in and ask them questions. And like, actually this morning I had like just a virtual office hour for anybody at the company who wanted to ask questions, or like just see somebody because they're not in the office, just to like open a door and be like, hey, we are actually a company and we like each other and we want to see each other, and bounce ideas off each other. So I do agree that having that kind of culture, and having someone who can lift you up, because part of the, like, for me, being a entrepreneur and kind of responsible for my own business, I know that one of the hardest things to do is to maintain through like goods, bads, ups, downs. Like some days everything is amazing. Like I'm walking on sunshine, like everything is fantastic. And then other days, like I kind of need somebody to be like, okay, this is what you need to do, or I understand how you're feeling, to like lift you back up. I think that that's really like, it's really hard to be a business owner because of all of that.
I think we really do that for each other.
Yes. That's why
I think we really, really do that for each other.
We do.
I think I can be very like, it's okay, like it's gonna happen. You know, like I'm that person.
Yeah,
But then I'm
balance. There's
also
also
like
balance.
negative as well.
Listen, there's a balance. You know, like
You know what I mean? I can be like, that was trash. And then she'll be like, okay, it's all right.
It's
Or, oh, we
okay.
didn't get them. And it's like, yeah, but someone else, that's because they weren't for us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I just think being
It's a balance.
open-minded on everything
You
is
gotta be
so
open.
important.
Oh my God, I can't believe you didn't bring up about being open-minded. That's very important.
Oh, yes.
Look at everything. If you think
At
it's
a
not going to
different
work for
angle.
you gotta do it.
You gotta
It's
look
gonna
at
work
it.
for you.
You gotta look at it all different angles. Even
Yes.
though if it makes you uncomfortable, it's like you gotta look at different angles. Oh my God, that I can't believe
You are the queen.
That
of
is
looking
like
at
my
other angles.
okay. As in it, like I just turned 31. Before this, if you talked to me when I was 23, you're gonna be like, "Wow, you know nothing," because you're just like so like one-minded. Honestly, the best thing I have learned with everywhere that I've worked and just working for myself and eventually opening up the business is that you must be open-minded. You can't say this is not gonna work for me. Just take it and then see where you're gonna
And
go.
also, like, if you're not open-minded, you can't learn anything new. And like, as a business person, as a professional, you have to constantly be learning what you don't know,
Learning
and like expanding your horizons, right? Like, you have to get uncomfortable and get out of your comfort zone. You can't do any of that if you're not open-minded.
I agree.
So yeah, that's you got and
I think being uncomfortable is the best way to grow. And I am a firm believer that the universe will always make you feel uncomfortable when it's time for you to grow. Right? Like I
Oh, yeah, of
wasn't
course.
looking to
I
open
mean,
a business at all.
if something
And
doesn't
I
make you
was so unhappy.
but if something doesn't
where I
make you
was at.
uncomfortable,
I was
then
so uncomfortable. I was like, like someone would come close to me. I'd be like, It was like crazy. Like I was like, like everything get off of me. And then it's like the second that I walked in here, I remember Kat was gonna do this with or without me. You know what I mean? But she wanted me. So the second that I came in here, it was like
beautiful.
it was like I never felt like that anymore. And then I
it
started
feels
feeling
good.
inspired. I started feeling like these gears were turning in my head that I thought I lost. You know, it's like when you start getting comfortable, I think it's another point. Complacency, I think, is what's gonna bring you into the trash. When you start feeling very comfortable and comfortable where you're at, you gotta switch things up because that's how you're going to evolve and everything's gonna just be better.
just how old you are.
Get better, like try new things.
No, I think that some of the worst times for my business were when I was doing the best and I was like, I can coast right now. Like, it's fine. Everything's fine. Like, without having like even like internal pressure for a goal or external pressure because you needed to, make something happen. Like, the worst and least interesting times of my life so far have been when I've been fine.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't love that.
When you were fine and when things were going really well, what did you do to switch things up and make things better? Like, what did?
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that one, I've learned from this, right? I've learned that when things are fine and you're happy and things are going well, that things can then go badly because you end up not being quite as quick, quite as like responsive, quite as like, oh, I'm gonna try this new thing. Or, like there's not that like internal motivation that is when you're brand new starting something, or you don't have any money, or you really have like a goal that you want to hit so that you can get something or whatever, right? So now I feel like I've learned that just having that growth mindset, like always, right? Just always, like it just always a little bit better. And that's not to mean that I don't appreciate where I am. That's not to mean that I'm not grateful for what I have. Like, I think that that's also a part of it. Like, being happy, being kind of joyful along the way, because otherwise life kind of sucks. So it's not just about the end result, but I think that like kind of trying to like continue that mindset. I think like what you read, I think that the people you surround yourself with really matter. Like if I'm, let's say, spending a little bit too much money on something, then I'll start listening to like finance podcasts and investment podcasts. I'm like, all right, let's go. We got to rein this back in, because I think that whatever you focus on, you end up paying much more attention to, and you get better at.
And I think that's really great advice to hear starting out right now, is because, you know, you always want to get to a place where you can coast, where you'll be a little bit comfortable with the money that you're making.
Yeah.
And I think that that's always something really, really dope to have in the back of your mind, to be like, look, when you get there, you still have to thrive to be, you know, better than you were yesterday, and not just, you know, coast and.
But I think that we're probably pretty similar in the way that, like, getting better at something and building something and growing and learning is actually so much fun.
So much
It's
fun.
so much fun to be like a part of building something. And I feel like when you're not in that game, like when you're not in that place, then you're not actually fine, because
Yeah.
there's something in me that like disappears,
Yes.
you know, when that inspiration kind of goes away when I'm not like
The fire
moving
dies.
somewhere,
Well,
right?
I don't get people that don't have that fire and then complain about being miserable when they make themselves miserable.
If everybody could do it, then everybody would do it. It's just like, that's why there's like majority of people.
Different paths for everybody,
I
right?
agree.
Everyone's got to find their own path.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I do.
Well, where are you? So I'd love to have people know, like, where are you? Tell us a little bit about the salon. Where can people find you? All of that good stuff.
So we're at 237 West 15th Street. We're between 7th and 8th Avenue,
which is
We
like
do
all
cover
cover area.
services.
All right, this is our message.
The Instagram is Arissa Hair NY. What else?
Okay, well, our neighborhood is really, really cute. If you're looking for donuts,
The
Donut Pub. Okay, so
Oh
literally,
my god!
like, we get them all the time. We're gonna gain so much weight by eating them, but they're so
they
good.
have to sponsor us.
This no, but our neighborhood is so cute. Like, it's such an easy stroll. You can take any train.
Yeah, we're very
Literally
accessible,
any
very
train.
central.
It's super easy to get here from Brooklyn, from the Upper East Side, from the Upper East,
West
any-
Village,
any-
whatever, wherever you are.
City
we
Bikes
can-
is around here. Chelsea
City
Market is around here. It's such a
we
cute
are
area.
in such a great.
So at the moment,
location.
we don't have our sign out, so we're kind of anonymous. Like, people want to know what this place is because there's no name, doesn't really say anything. So I kind of like it, but we definitely need a name.
We need
It's like the speakeasy of salons. So you
Yeah.
gotta find it.
Yes,
It's a
and
speakeasy, I like that.
I know, right? We only have a very
Speakeasy
tiny
hair salon.
Only the in crowd knows where you are.
Yes.
Yes, so
That's
why I
pretty
thought-
much what it is.
Yeah. That's what it is. Like, there's no walk-ins. We don't take walk-ins right now because of COVID.
If we have the time
Where
to take the
else?
walk-in, we would, but we're really just a database only. So, arissahair.com.
Well, thank you, ladies.
Thank you, Courtney.
Thank you for taking.
It was so nice talking to you guys. It was awesome. And I will certainly be back. You guys are phenomenal. And I love the salon. Bye, ladies.
Bye.